Hi, this is Monika, and this is my video on getting over an emotional affair. Emotional affair is pretty self-explanatory, but basically what it is a relationship between a person who's in a primary relationship, either a marriage or a partnership or a long-term relationship, and they're developing a relationship outside of that relationship that has an impact on the level of intimacy, emotional distance, and overall balance in the marriage or the relationship. So the role of the emotional affair is to create distance in the primary relationship. That is the effect that it has. Now, these emotional affairs can be even more devastating than sexual infidelity because the connection is emotional, which is more threatening in a way to the alliance that's within the partnership. They can be harder to end because of the emotional connection, and it can be more hurtful in terms of the betrayal of trust. Now, characteristics of an emotional affair are that you or your cheating partner would have inappropriate emotional intimacy. So the unfaithful partner could spend more time with someone outside of the relationship. They confide in that friend more than they do with their partner, and they share more intimate emotional feelings and secrets. There's a certain amount of deception that will be involved and secrecy as well. So that means that the person who's involved with somebody outside their relationship, they may not tell them how much time they're spending with this other person, their friendship. They may not tell the person that they're doing things with them. Most meetings and conversations are kept secret. So even though no physical intimacy is occurring, there is a level of deception. And they also might even be talking to this friendship, talking to the friend outside the marriage about things, or even just behaving in a way they would never do in front of their partner. There's going to be some increased fighting, so if a person becomes emotionally involved with a third party, they'll tend to discount their primary partner, stop investing in their primary relationship, which of course is going to affect the primary relationship, and it's going to cause strain. There's going to be an aspect of sexual and emotional chemistry. So this is basically just a physical attraction that you might feel to friendship outside the relationship. And because it's not being acted upon, there can be a certain level of denial about what's going on. And emotional triangle. So this is basically that, the unfaithful partner is struggling to keep the other two people involved from knowing the impact of one upon the other. Now, what makes it different than a regular affair is that there's usually a huge amount of denial. We're just friends is what people will say, and there is this denial about the secrecy, and they'll say, well, I'm being secretive not because I'm doing anything wrong, but because my partner just won't understand and I'm trying to protect them. It's also easy to deny what's going on because it happens in sanctioned settings at work, in public. It doesn't require a hotel room, and there's such a focus these days on work spouses that, they can be benign, but they can also be dangerous if they're having lunch or coffee every single day, or if they're complaining about their marriage or flirting or talking about sex. So once your partner, or once you in your partnership are sharing information outside of that relationship with your work spouse, it really becomes a betrayal. So how do you get over an emotional affair? Now this is these tips work if you are the cheating partner or if your partner is having an emotional affair. You're going to want to get back to the basics and start the process of always telling your partner what you need, even if it's difficult, and not avoiding conflict. So the deepest feelings and the struggles and really whatever the vulnerable feelings are, or the feelings of resentment, have to come up with the primary partner, or the healing cannot begin. Another common thing is that folks tend to wait until they want to solve the problems before they'll feel connected with each other again. But really, you got to do it the other way around. You have to postpone all problem solving until you feel connected with your primary partner. Have a no flirting pact. This just needs to be a no tolerance policy. If you've been affected by an emotional affair, you're too vulnerable for that. So some couples can have flirting outside the marriage, but if this is you, this is not going to work for you. The cheating partner has to end the friendship with the emotional affair partner immediately. There can't be any halfway, we're just friends now, we won't see each other as often. It really just has to end, or there will still be that slippery slope, and you won't be able to build back the cheated on partner's trust. Don't hang out with people who cheat. This does affect people's attitudes about it. It starts to feel like it's not that big of a deal. So it's sort of like an addiction. You have to stop hanging around with people who are using in the beginning of recovery. And be patient. Rebuilding trust after betrayal does take time. Don't expect your partner or yourself to bounce back immediately. Now, if you want to discuss this further, please join us on our free relationship coaching call every Monday at 3 p.m. Thanks so much, and until next time.